Guys, Asher Imaginary Goddess here. So I'm doing a quick little vlog here before we go to Chicago. This is probably going to post up on Friday while we're on the way to Chicago. So just a quick little update on some of the things. So we're going to be in Chicago. It'll be me, Haleth, Diesel, and a bunch of the other guys that appear on the channel randomly. We're all just going to go up there, play a bit. I know some of them actually are judges too, so that'll be cool. And we're gonna sell some stuff. So if you guys see us, go ahead and give us a shout out. We'll have some of our cool little business cards, so to say, if you want one. Yeah, if you like coming up to us saying hello or whatever, that'd be awesome. But other than that, I'm gonna try to see if I can do a vlog while in there. It probably won't post until after, but maybe a little bit about what's going on over there. But a little update on the channel. So we got some things in the works. We're trying to expand on the IYG brand, which right now consists of IYG music, and there's another IYG thing that involves food that we're going to be doing too. It's going to be separate channels, but just under the IYG brand. IYG music is a fairly I'm not going to say it's really successful or anything, but it's a fairly decent endeavor that I've been doing. I do a lot of contractual work for various companies. Some of the more notable ones is Funimation and Crunchyroll, and a lot of it, the work involves translations and anime. So with IYG music, now we're going to do some of our own music eventually, but right now it consists of a lot of subbing, translating, and then subbing like karaoke effects and whatnot into a video. We usually pick songs that are interesting to do, or that I've had to work on in the past, or that I've had to work on, I should say, and things that we enjoy listening to that are more the newer spectrum of things. We don't make any money off of it. All the views and things off of those videos go to whoever owns the song. And the translations themselves are songified in that we translate it and then we convert it to where it flows, at least sentence structure better in English, just because English and Japanese and whatever other languages that we use, generally Asian ones, have different sentence structures. I believe in Japan the verb goes before the subject, and in the US the subject goes before the verb in general. I might have that mixed up, but so that's a bit about IYG music. We also started a Patreon. We're not pushing for it. We'll probably do another video talking more about it, but we're not asking for any money. If you don't want to do it, that's cool. But I thought it'd be an interesting experiment to have the Patreon thing there, and doing what one of the guys I really admire on YouTube, Rudy, his Magic the Gathering stuff, is sell booster boxes at essentially cost for his Patreon. So I was like, oh, well, I could try that for Vanguard. I don't think it'll be as popular because Vanguard boxes are generally pretty cheap anyway. So I think what we've gotten it down to is we can get a box for 52 shipped anywhere in the US. As many boxes is up to a case, I think, is what we can do per person. And yeah, just for being a member of our Patreon of the right tiers and whatnot. So that's just a little bit about that. We'll probably go more into detail with that later on. And then what else? So vlog, music, food, some of the questions that we got on our last video, and private message. I already kind of answered what I do for a living, which translate, contractual work and whatnot. And let me just click on the other video real quick so I can see. Sorry about that. What do we think for the new support? BT9 looks to be a pretty good set, actually. Let's see if I can move this camera a bit. The awesome card guy 1 asks, what do you think of the support for the 6 clans of BT09? Well, just going by the spoilers so far, BT09 looks to be probably one of the best sets that we've had since the 6. It's a really good looking set, I'll put it that way. The only thing that kind of sucks about it is no SP packs, except for Aqua Force, as far as I know. But there is a lot of reprints with the new rare whatever. I think the Raging Form has alternate art that we just saw. I'm sure the other ones have alternate art and whatnot too. But it looks to be a really good set. Looks to be a very high value set. A lot of things that are worth money. Basically cards that people will play. So it might be something that people might want to crack boxes for over singles. Unless you're playing like one deck, then that's always better to get singles. And do you play Magic the Gathering? I personally do not play Magic the Gathering, nor does Kohelef. These questions can all be answered by the other guys whenever they get a chance to do a vlog or whatnot as well. But these are just mine opinions and whatnot. As far as I know, Diesel plays Magic. He does Modern, and I think he's kind of doing some Standard now with the Kaladesh coming out, or just came out. I stopped around Scars of Mirrodin, and I have like a huge collection of things that I delve into to get extra money whenever I need it. But otherwise, I don't really play Magic. I think Magic is too expensive, at least for me. It's a really good game, though. A lot of good mechanics, and a lot of other card games are based off of it and want to be as successful as it, because Magic investing is a thing. And if you had done it since the start of Magic, you'd be pretty good financial situation right now, actually. So, assuming you invested right, anyway. So Magic the Gathering, pretty good. Just a bit too much expensive. Too pricey for me to play. I barely play Card Fight, but I stick to Bushiroad games, and I also like the arts. The whole anime-ish style of art is more aesthetically pleasing to me than the more realistic art that Magic the Gathering tends to go for. But to each his own. So, what do you all have to do to run a card shop? I want to know what it would take for me to run a card shop. Probably do a more in-depth video on this later on. We're trying to diversify our content. We're like keeping up with a lot of regular card fight content, because that is what the primary goal of this channel is: card fight content, Bushiroad content. But we want to push into other content things, and we've over the years done little specials. I know Mercenary King does his own little state of play thing that we host as well. But we try to diversify content just to make it more interesting for people. But we'll probably do a series on making a shop down the line. What my biggest piece of advice for anyone thinking of making a card shop and things is, well, first of all, you're not going to make much money in terms of the money and time that you're going to be spending on it. You're going to be working a lot for free, so to say, or a lot under minimum wage. You're going to work because you love running a card shop, or you love being your own business owner, for a little bit anyway. And have enough capital at the beginning, and also find a good location. I think those are the biggest pieces of advice I can give on the top of my head right now. Think of the new Pale Moon support. There isn't any Pale Moon in 9, so I believe it's 8. Megatrick is okay. SP Pack is nice, but that's not really new support. I don't think the clan really got much. I mean, there's some more Nightmare Doll stuff, which makes it a bit more playable. But in general, I don't think Pale Moon support was that great in that set. The deck didn't really change much as far as what I can tell. New Shadow Paladin trial deck, GBO9. GBO9 is a great set. Trial deck looks pretty awesome. It's gonna sell a lot because it's Shadow Paladin, and Ritual is super good. Playmat update, I don't know what that means. I guess the size. The size is weird. It's better, but it's weird in that it's like all of a sudden they deviated the size with the Shahar Rot mat. And then, as far as I can tell, the Demiurge mat is regular mini size. The Shahar Rot mat is like huge size, which doesn't make sense, because now it's just, I mean, Shahar Rot mat's awesome, but it's like, you get this really huge mat and then you have small mats, so they don't really fit together in a collection. It's just weird. So they should have just kept the standard size. But yeah, so I think that's all the questions here. As always, though, on these vlogs, feel free to post comments, questions, or anything, things that you guys are curious about, and try to get those answered for you. But other than that, I'll try to do an update. I think I have one more video posting before Chicago ends. Might be another sneak hit. But other than that, it's been Ash from Edgar. Thanks for watching, listening, and I will catch you all next time.